The New York Knicks completed a stunning Christmas Day comeback against the Cleveland Cavaliers, overturning a 17-point fourth-quarter deficit to secure a thrilling 126-124 victory at Madison Square Garden. This marked the Knicks' third consecutive Christmas Day triumph, cementing their status as holiday favorites, while dealing another setback to the struggling Cavaliers. The win improved New York's record to 21 wins and 9 losses, maintaining their second-place position in the Eastern Conference standings, while demonstrating the championship resilience that head coach Mike Brown has cultivated within this roster. Jalen Brunson led the Knicks' offensive charge with 34 points, displaying his signature clutch performance when it mattered most. The star guard made the go-ahead three-pointer with just 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining in regulation, capping off a remarkable team effort that saw the home crowd roaring with approval throughout the final minutes. His ability to deliver in pressure situations once again proved why he remains the cornerstone of the franchise's championship aspirations and why the organization made him a priority in recent contract negotiations. Reserve guard Jordan Clarkson emerged as an unexpected hero, contributing 25 critical points off the bench to provide the offensive firepower needed during the comeback. His scoring prowess provided the spark that ignited the Knicks' furious rally, demonstrating the team's impressive depth and the value of veteran leadership in crucial moments. Clarkson's performance highlighted the importance of bench production in high-stakes games, particularly during the grueling NBA regular season schedule. The real story belonged to reserves Tyler Kolek and Mitchell Robinson, whose energy and hustle sparked the comeback after Cleveland had surged to a commanding 103-86 advantage. Kolek finished with 16 points and 9 assists, earning thunderous chants from the Madison Square Garden faithful following a crucial defensive play on Donovan Mitchell that was initially ruled a foul but overturned upon review. Robinson's contribution extended beyond the stat sheet, as the athletic center hustled relentlessly after offensive rebounds to keep possessions alive, finishing with 13 rebounds. The game began disastrously for New York, with Cleveland jumping out to an 18-3 lead behind 10 early points from Mitchell. The Cavaliers controlled the first quarter, building a 38-23 advantage. However, the Knicks found their rhythm in the second quarter, with Clarkson opening the period with consecutive three-pointers. Following a Cleveland basket, the Knicks unleashed a devastating 18-0 run to seize a 47-41 lead, completely flipping the momentum. The Knicks connected on 12 of their first 14 field goal attempts in the second period before taking a 60-58 edge into halftime. Cleveland regained control in the third quarter when Mitchell slammed home a lob pass from Garland beyond half-court. Mitchell later connected on a three-pointer that completed an 18-4 surge, transforming a 71 all-tie into an 89-75 advantage. As the fourth quarter progressed, Brunson, Kolek, and Clarkson all hit crucial three-pointers in a 13-2 run that cut Cleveland's 12-point lead to 111-110, setting up the dramatic finish. The Knicks responded with a decisive 5-0 run late, and a flagrant foul on Norman Powell while Brunson attempted a three-pointer sealed the victory. Donovan Mitchell led Cleveland with 34 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists, while Darius Garland added 20 points and 10 assists, but it wasn't enough to prevent the collapse. Jalen Brunson delivered a breathtaking offensive masterclass, erupting for a season-high 47 points to lead the New York Knicks to a hard-fought 132-125 victory over the Miami Heat on Sunday night at Madison Square Garden. The spectacular performance marked Brunson's 20th 40-point game, wearing a Knicks uniform, and established a new career high for points scored at the world's most famous arena, further cementing his status as the franchise's undisputed leader and offensive engine. The victory improved New York's impressive home record to 14 wins and just 2 losses, showcasing their dominance at Madison Square Garden throughout the current campaign. The Knicks now stand at 20 wins and 8 losses overall, firmly positioned among the Eastern Conference's elite teams as they continue building momentum toward what they hope will be a deep playoff run. Meanwhile, the defeat extended Miami's recent struggles, dropping the Heat to 15 wins and 14 losses after losing 7 of their last 8 contests. Mikal Bridges provided crucial secondary scoring, adding 24 points while shooting an exceptional 6 for 7 from beyond the three-point arc. His performance proved particularly valuable in the first half, where he poured in 18 points to help establish the foundation for the comeback victory. Bridges' efficient shooting from distance created the spacing necessary for Brunson to operate effectively in the mid-range and at the rim, demonstrating the importance of having multiple offensive weapons on championship-caliber rosters. Josh Hart contributed his typical well-rounded stat line with 13 points and 10 rebounds, providing the type of versatile production that makes him invaluable to head coach Mike Brown's system. OG Anunoby overcame a scoreless first half to finish with 18 points, all scored in the second half when the Knicks needed additional offensive firepower to pull away from the resilient Heat. His ability to make crucial adjustments at halftime and deliver when it mattered most exemplified the mental toughness that defines this Knicks squad. The contest began ominously for the home team, with Karl Anthony Towns receiving a technical foul within the opening 5 minutes as frustration mounted during a sluggish start. Mike Brown called timeout after Miami converted an easy transition layup, but the defensive issues persisted. The Heat connected on 7 for 11 shooting from three-point range in the opening quarter, building a 7-point advantage despite the Knicks' respectable 12 for 22 shooting performance from the floor. The visitors' efficient ball movement and commitment to pushing the pace in transition created numerous quality scoring opportunities. Entering halftime of the second period with the Knicks trailing by 9 points, Brunson took control of the game with 5 quick points to ignite a comeback attempt. Bridges followed with consecutive three-pointers that electrified the Madison Square Garden crowd and forced Heat head coach Erik Spoelstra to burn a timeout with his team clinging to a 1-point lead. Brunson then delivered 5 straight points to give New York their first lead, since the score stood 9-8 early in the opening quarter. The point guard capped his magnificent first-half performance by draining his 5th three-pointer just before the halftime buzzer, giving him 27 points and the Knicks a 66-62 advantage heading into the locker room. The third quarter featured a back-and-forth battle as both teams traded scoring runs and defensive stops. After Miami trimmed the deficit to 2 points, the Knicks responded with 7 consecutive points, turning offense into defense with a pair of emphatic blocked shots that energized the home crowd. However, Norman Powell caught fire for the Heat, exploding for 19 points in the quarter alone. Kel'el Ware, Miami's talented second-year big man, discovered his shooting stroke from beyond the arc, connecting on 4 of 6 attempts from three-point range to finish the period with 22 points. Despite the Heat's offensive surge, Anunoby and Brunson each contributed 12 points in the third quarter to maintain New York's 6-point advantage entering the final period. The fourth quarter initially bogged down with frequent trips to the free throw line and missed field goal attempts, as the Knicks managed just 6 for 16 shooting while Miami struggled even more at 4 for 14 from the floor. However, New York maintained their edge through clutch three-point shooting, including a desperation heave from Hart late in the shot clock and a corner 3 from Brunson after Mitchell Robinson kept the ball in play with an offensive rebound. These momentum-swinging plays demonstrated the team's ability to manufacture offense even during extended droughts. Miami refused to go quietly, with Ware connecting on another three-pointer to give him 28 points for the evening. Jaime Jaquez Jr. converted 2 free throws to reach 19 points off the bench, pulling the Heat within 3 points with 3 minutes and 12 seconds remaining on the game clock. The sellout crowd at Madison Square Garden rose to their feet, sensing that their team would need every ounce of energy to close out the determined visitors. The tension reached its peak as both teams understood the significance of every possession down the stretch. The Knicks responded to the pressure with a decisive 5-point run, featuring Bridges making his second three-pointer of the quarter to reach 24 points for the game. The crucial sequence culminated with a flagrant foul called on Powell while Brunson attempted a three-pointer, allowing the Knicks to effectively seal the victory by extending their lead to 10 points with just 94 seconds remaining. The controversial call swung the momentum definitively in New York's favor, extinguishing any remaining hopes of a Miami comeback and sending the holiday crowd home satisfied with the hard-earned triumph. The New York Knicks have reportedly opened the door to trading forward Guerschon Yabusele before the February 5th trade deadline, according to multiple league sources familiar with the team's thinking. The 30-year-old French big man, who was touted as the franchise's most significant free agency acquisition during the summer months, has dramatically underperformed expectations through the first 2 months of the regular season, averaging a mere 3 points and 2.2 rebounds per game, while logging just 9.6 minutes per contest. His shooting percentages have been alarmingly inefficient, connecting on only 39.4% from the field and 30.6% from three-point range, representing a significant regression from his productive stint with the Philadelphia 76ers last season. James Edwards, the third of The Athletic, first reported the Knicks' willingness to explore trade scenarios involving Yabusele, noting that the organization has grown increasingly frustrated with his inability to contribute meaningful minutes for a team with championship aspirations. Multiple league executives consulted by Edwards indicated that New York will likely need to attach additional assets to Yabusele's contract in order to facilitate a trade, given his disappointing production and the financial commitment remaining on his deal. The veteran forward is earning $5.5 million this season and holds a $5.7 million player option for the 2026 through 2027 campaign, making his contract a potential burden for teams operating near the luxury tax threshold. The Knicks have been actively reaching out to rival franchises in their ongoing search for both an additional ball handler and frontcourt depth, according to league sources with knowledge of the team's trade discussions. The organization lacks a proven veteran point guard capable of playing dependable minutes when star Jalen Brunson requires rest, creating a vulnerability that opposing teams have occasionally exploited. While rookie Tyler Kolek has shown encouraging flashes of potential, particularly during the past week of games, there remains considerable uncertainty about whether the young guard is ready to shoulder meaningful responsibility in high-leverage playoff situations. The team is simultaneously seeking reinforcements in the front court, as the current roster offers limited reliable options behind Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson. While Robinson continues producing outstanding rebounding numbers, pulling down 8.6 boards per game in 18.2 minutes per night, he remains on a strict load management program designed to preserve his health for the postseason. The injury-prone center has battled various ailments throughout his career, and the Knicks cannot afford to absorb a long-term absence from such a critical member of their rotation. The organization's decision to exercise caution with Robinson's minutes creates an immediate need for a dependable third center who can provide quality minutes when called upon. The Knicks face significant financial constraints as they navigate the trade market due to their proximity to the second apron hard cap, which severely limits their roster flexibility and transaction options. The franchise has carried just 14 players on standard contracts throughout the entire season and cannot fill their roster opening until early April, when certain salary cap restrictions are lifted. These financial handcuffs make any potential trade extremely complicated from a salary matching perspective, requiring creative solutions from the front office to improve the roster without triggering the punitive luxury tax penalties. Edwards identified several potential trade candidates who could address the Knicks' needs while fitting within their limited financial parameters. Chicago Bulls guard Ayo Dosunmu would provide the ball handling and defensive ability that New York desperately craves, but his $7.5 million salary creates mathematical challenges. The Knicks would need to include either Landry Shamet at $2.3 million, who was productive before suffering a shoulder injury, or possibly Pacome Dadiet at $2.9 million, or Kolek at $2.2 million, alongside either Yabusele or Miles McBride at $4.3 million to make the salaries match. However, Edwards expressed skepticism about Chicago's willingness to absorb Yabusele's contract, suggesting that McBride would likely need to be the centerpiece of any potential deal. Jose Alvarado of the New Orleans Pelicans emerged as another intriguing possibility, with Edwards suggesting the undersized guard may prove more obtainable than Dosunmu, given New Orleans' rebuild trajectory. Alvarado's contract, valued at $4.5 million with a $4.5 million player option for next season, would be substantially easier to fit onto the Knicks' salary cap sheet without requiring multiple players in return. Edwards also noted that New York possesses multiple second-round draft picks that could be used as sweeteners to entice the Pelicans to part with their energetic guard, who has become a fan favorite in Louisiana despite the team's struggles. Marvin Bagley III represents perhaps the most intriguing low-cost option available on the trade market, according to the report. The former second overall pick has experienced a career renaissance with the Washington Wizards, providing consistent scoring and rebounding, despite his well-documented defensive limitations. His modest $2.2 million cap hit makes him an extremely affordable option as a third-string center, and Edwards believes the Wizards might accept a single second-round pick in exchange for the Kentucky product. Bagley's ability to score in the post and stretch the floor would provide a different dimension than what Robinson and Ariel Hukporti currently offer off the bench. The Yabusele situation represents another in a growing list of questionable roster decisions by the Knicks front office over recent seasons, raising concerns about the organization's evaluation process for free agent acquisitions. The decision to sign the Frenchman using the valuable taxpayer mid-level exception signaled significant organizational investment and belief in his ability to contribute to a championship-caliber roster, making his rapid fall from grace all the more disappointing for a fan base desperate for sustainable success.